Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing you how to draft this cute tie top. So first of all, we're going to start by getting our shoulder line. And from the shoulder line, I'm going to take my chest line and I'll be using 9.5. I'm also going to take my bust point and my under bust at 14. I'll also take my waist measurement and I'll be using 17 inches. I'll also transfer these measurements to the other side of the paper so that I can get straight, accurate lines. I'm just going to connect these lines together and then I'll take my shoulder measurements now. For my shoulder, I'm going to be using 7.5. That's my shoulder measurement divided by 2. I'll put the same figure on my chest line and I'll just rule a line like this. I'm going to be coming down by 1 inch for my shoulder slope and I'll be using the normal 3x3 measurement so I can get a perfect slope. But I'm just going to be using dotted lines to achieve this. Next, I'm going to be taking my neck depth and I'm going to be using 4 inches. I'll just connect these two dots here together to create my neckline. Now I'm going to be creating my shoulder slope following the dotted lines. Next, you want to find the middle point between the shoulder slope and the chest line, and you're just going to mark that there, and from that point you're going to go in by half an inch. On the chest line, I'm going to be taking my bust round, which is 10.5. That's my bust divided by 4. And I'm going to be creating my arm curve. Next, I'm going to be marking my nipple to nipple measurement, and I'm using 3.5. And I'll take half an inch on both sides to create my dart. I'm also going to mark the same 3.5 so I can get a straight line. On the under bust line, I'm also going to be taking half an inch on both sides. From the bust point, we're going to go down by 1.5 inches. Go ahead and connect these points together. Now, on the waistline, I'm going to be marking my waist round divided by 4, and I'm going to be using 8. I'm also going to return the 1 inch dart, and I'll add my sewing allowance of 1 inch. On the chest line, I'm also going to be taking my 1 inch allowance, and I'm going to connect those 2 points together. On the bust line, I'm going to be creating my French dart, and I'll be going out from that bust point by 3 inches. On the line, I'm going to go up from that line by half an inch and go down by 1 inch. I'm just going to go ahead and connect these lines together. Now at the bottom of this pattern, I'm going to be adding 1 inch because of my French dart, and I'm just going to connect that to the center dart line. I'm going to add 1 inch to the bottom of this pattern for my hemming allowance. I'll be going down by half an inch from my chest line to create my new arm curve. Add sewing allowances to the neckline and extend your dart lines, and that's all for the front pattern. Now moving on to the back pattern, you want to create and transfer all those lines you had from the front pattern to this back pattern. To create the back dart, I'm going to be taking half an inch on both sides, and from the chest line, I'll go down by 1 inch, and I'm just going to connect these points together. I'm going to go ahead and impute my waist measurement, which is my waist round divided by 4, and I have 8, so I'm just going to go ahead and mark 8. I'm also going to be transferring my 1 inch dart, and I'll be adding 1 inch for my sewing allowance. On the chest line, I'll go ahead and add 1 inch for sewing allowance, and I'll connect these 2 points together. Just like the front pattern, I'm going to be coming down by half an inch below my chest line, and I'm going to create my new arm curve. Now, to determine my back length, from my under bust, I'm going to go up by 1 inch. So I'm just going to mark 1 inch here, and I'll also mark the same thing on this side of the pattern so I can get a straight line. So go ahead and connect these 2 points together. I'm also going to add 1 inch hemming allowance. Now to determine the length of the rope that is going to be attached to this top, we're just going to measure what we have from the under bust line to the waistline, and I have 4 inches. So just go ahead and write that down somewhere. So this is all for the back pattern. Now you can go ahead and cut this out. I'm also going to be cutting out my front pattern. This is what your pattern should look like when you're done cutting. Moving on to the strap, I've gone ahead to mark my starting line. And from that starting line, I'm going to go in by 1 inch, and that's going to be my sewing allowance. Now, the figure we had was 4 inches. From 4 inches, I'm going to be adding 1 inch to hem the top of the strap, and I'll add 1 inch to hem the bottom of the strap, and I'll add half an inch to join the strap to the back of the dress because I want it to overlap just a little bit. Now in total, I'm going to be having 6.5. So I'm just going to mark 6.5 on the 2 lines that you have there. Now to get the length of my strap, I don't want my strap to be too long, so I'm going to go ahead and use 22 inches. So from the second line, I'm going to be marking 22 inches on this fabric. Now for the bottom of my strap, I want my strap to be tapered, so I'm going to be using 2 inches. So from that 2 inches, I'll add 1 inch so I can hem the top of the strap. I'll add extra 1 inch to hem the bottom of the strap. So I'm going to go ahead and mark 4 inches, and I'll connect these 2 points together, and that is all you need for your strap. After getting my strap, I've cut out my pattern on my fabric, and I've cut the front unfold, and I've also cut the back unfold. Now for the sewing, you want to sew your strap to the back of the top. Right sides facing each other, you want to attach your shoulder. And if you're using a facing, this is the time to use your facing, or if you're using a bias, this is the time. And join the sides together, and when you're done, this is what it should come out looking like. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe.